Hey everyone, and welcome back to Swift Guitar Lessons. Today I'm going to show you the absolute basics of guitar strumming. We're going to learn how to subdivide our strums over a measure in 4/4 time, moving from long whole note strums up to rapid 16th note strums. From there, we're going to learn how to add in the percussive elements that will make your playing sound much more professional. Let's get started. Alright, so the first step is picking a chord that we're going to be practicing our strums over. I'm going to go with G major. My third finger is on the 3rd fret of the E string. That's my root G. My middle finger is on the 2nd fret of the A string, the major 3rd, B. And my pinky will be here on the 3rd fret of the high E string. This is a nice chord to practice your strumming over because it's using every string. You don't have to worry about any muting or blocking. Alright, so the first strum that we're going to talk about is your whole note strums. Alright, so there's 4 beats in a measure. So that means a whole note strum should last the duration of those entire 4 beats. It'll sound like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, up in the ante, the next step is to throw in the half note strums. Okay, so 2 is half of 4, so each of these strums will last 2 beats. Let's give that a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Super easy. Alright, next, this is the core of your strumming patterns, the quarter note strum. So there's 4 beats in a measure. We're going to strum down on each one of those beats. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still very simple. Alright, next we have the 8th note strums. This is where we're going to start throwing in our upstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So this is where you're starting to subdivide your beats within the measure. In the 8th note strums, we're strumming twice for every beat. Let's do that one again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Strumming up on the ends. Let's keep it going. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Alright, the next step, the 16th note strum. This is the fastest strum that you're going to be throwing in generally in your patterns. And for it, we're going to count on every beat. 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda. So if I have 4/4 time, the same tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda, 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda. Alright, so strumming 16th notes may be very difficult for some of you beginners out there. The first thing you need to know, don't squeeze the pick too hard. It can be very difficult to strum fast when we're squeezing that pick. The other thing, we want to tilt the pick just a little bit towards the headstock. That allows this rounded slope of the pick to glide down the strings on your downstrokes and your upstrokes. Alright, so let's go back to the beginning. We're going to practice each level of strumming with 2 measures on each. Okay, so getting started with your whole note strums. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and strum. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 to your halves. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eights. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 16th. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, so next we're going to add in a very professional percussive element to your playing known as the percussive hit. Sounds like this. And we're going to throw that sound, that kind of snare drum sound, in on beats 2 and 4. So if I had my quarter note strums, 1, 2, 3, 4, with those percussive hits coming in on the beats 2 and 4, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the percussive hit isn't just a slap of the strings. I'm kind of angling my palm down onto the strings, making kind of a thud sound. Meanwhile, my pick scrapes the E and the A string. And it happens almost at the same exact time, but my palm has to hit just a little bit before the pick. So the palm comes down, and then the pick. Palm, pick. Practice just that in the early going, and then eventually they start to come together. Palm, pick, and then finally, and I want to be able to follow through with my picks, that way I can grab an upstroke later on when I'm using my 8th note strums or my 16th note strums. Alright, so those quarter notes in 4/4 time, I'll do it one time without the hits. The second time around, that second measure, I'll throw in the hits on 2 and 4. Sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4 with the hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, there's another element going on here with the hits that I have to mention. My left hand, if I really want to ensure that my hits are going to sound nice and muted, it helps to collapse the hand just a little bit and kind of dead fish the strings, I like to say. So I'm basically not pressing on the strings at all, but I'm still covering them up, and I might just kind of collapse my first finger over the strings. That way they're all completely dead. Now I've noticed that a lot of beginners will take the pressure off the other fingers except for the pinky, and that one will still be ringing out. So what you'll end up with is something like this. And then those high strings will still ring out. It's a mixture of skipping over it with the pick, angling your hands so that way you're skipping all the high strings and you still end up at the beneath the high E string, so you're able to get that upstroke, and also making sure that all the strings here are muted with the left hand. Alright, let's go back to those quarter note strums with the percussive hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, the next task, we're going to try to do the same exact thing, but with our 8th note strums. So in that 4/4 time, same exact tempo, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 with the hits. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Alright, once you have that down, your next task is going to be to try to throw in those same hits on beats 2 and 4, but with your 16th note strums. It's very challenging. Sounds like this. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E with hits. And a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... And that's your 16th note strums with percussive hits. Alright, so let's take a close look at the right hand, and together we're going to master this percussive hit. I'm still playing my G major chord. And remember, the first thing I want to do is come down with the palm. And here's the key. The pick is up in the air, raised above my E string. Then I'm just going to drop it and scrape across, maybe the E, A, and D string. Palm comes down, and I pick. Palm, pick. You can mess around with the angle in which you come down. Some people like to go straight up and down and follow through. Some simple strumming. The quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, with the 8th note strums. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we're kind of thinking down, up, chuck, up. Down, up, chuck, up. Alright, with the 16th notes, this is what you're up against. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... Alright everyone, thanks so much for checking out this video. I hope it's helped you with your strumming a little bit. I was told a long time ago that the music comes from the right hand. As important as it is to get your scales down and all your chords with your left hand, without that strong right hand, you're not going to really be able to achieve that professional sound that we're all kind of shooting for. I have plenty more videos coming up, so keep checking back and please subscribe. I'm Rob from Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.